I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight it will be the stars and cars of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup, taking on one of the best roads, best ovals in the United States. You will not convince me otherwise. Rockingham Speedway, located in Rockingham, North Carolina, just a tick over a mile in length, 22 degrees of banking in the turn 1 and 2 end, 25 to 3 and 4 end, where Jeff Burton holds the track record here at a 27.927 second lap. My name is Chris Graham, and we're looking forward to a great week of racing action here on the National Racing Network. Is tonight the Silver Crowns at Rockingham. Tomorrow night, the sprint cars are headed to Slinger Speedway. It is going to be an absolutely wild show out there. Qualifications underway here for the Silver Crowns, and we're going to pick up the guy who won this race last time we were here, Larry Pace. It was a nice race last time, 30.69 strength of field, 30.15 the SOF here tonight. And it was all Larry Pace and Brendan Buckberger up front. Pace leading 67 circuits the last time they were here. As Brandon Buckberger goes to the top of the charts as one of the first cars over the line at a 21.167. Pace 29 thousandths back. 21.195 seconds, the lap time of record there for Larry Pace. James Watson second, quick, 21.190. Now Derek Love moves to the top of the board, 21.035. Pace over the start-finish line. He's going to be in good for second and 10th, back at a 21.139. Buckberger holds on for position number 3. Watson will be number 4. And coming back out onto the racetrack to finish his qualification run, let's pick up Lane Doyle in car number 9. Making his way off at turn number 2, already a little bit squirrely there on the exit. Another name, this is a blast from the past name for us. Manuel Paredes back in, and he's going to put it inside the top 10 with a 21.328 second lap. On the racetrack, Thomas Lewandowski in the Team Watson Racing setups, car number 3. And he is going to go 5th quick on lap number 1. Just a 10th and a half back at a 21.206. Also on the speedway, Logan Rayvals, Josh Batista, Thomas McAlpine. Lap number 2 on the board for Lewandowski, and it will be quick time, 21.034, 21.03 with a 4 for Thomas Lewandowski. Josh Batista, the red ream rocket down the back, stretching into turn number 3. He's over the start-finish line for lap number 2. And Batista going to move up to 3rd quick at a 21.083. Lewandowski and Love an almost dead heat at the start-finish line. Only waiting for Goen Win to get out onto the racetrack with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in qualifications. But my goodness, what a couple of laps up front for Lewandowski and Love. Those guys are absolutely flying around this place. While we have a moment here, let's show you your championship point standings heading into tonight's race. Thomas Lewandowski sitting on 1451, a 200-point lead over James Watson. Brandon Buckberger not too far back, though, in the third position, followed by Josh Batista and Derek Love. Jeffrey Stanton, Brett Edwards, Matthias Swank, Zach Evans, and Todd Taylor will complete the top 10 in the point standings. Entering tonight's race, Go and Win is out on the speedway in his Apple computer machine, so we'll bring up all the graphics back for you so you can see where the 17 machine will slot in line. 19 cars on the entry list. This is the final of 19 to take a qualification lap. Off of turn number 4, lap number 1 is going to be good enough for 18th quick at a 21.804. A classic throwback livery there for Win. Vintage. Oh, buddy. Wow. What a save off of turn number 4 for Go and Win. That will not improve the lap time, but my goodness. Get a handle on yourself. So while everybody's getting set up and to head out to the grid, let's take a look at the weather conditions for tonight. This is going to play a huge factor in tonight's race. 78-degree ambient temperature, 91-degree track temp under partly cloudy skies. I'm going to say at best partly cloudy. 9-mile-per-hour winds out of the south. That is all that sunshine baking on this racetrack could make things a little bit difficult here for these drivers. But a lot of the ones we talked to in the pre-race were actually looking forward to a racing surface that was not completely gripped up. They wanted no parts of this place being super grippy, said it would be bottom dominant. With a little bit of sunshine and keep the clouds away, we could see 2 or 3 grooves of racing come into play over the course of this one here tonight. Field is getting lined up on the front straightaway, so let's take a look. Well, first, let's make sure you're going to get everybody's paint schemes correct here. And then we'll show you tonight's starting lineup. On the pole in the Team Watson Racing setups, number 3 out of the state of New York, it will be Thomas Lewandowski, a lap time of 21.035, 1/1000th of a second back. Derek Love to his outside in the Street Side Classics number 2. Second row of the grid will have Josh Batista in that red Ream Rocket. The number 20 machine lining up to the inside of Canada's Larry Pace, still only a 10th of a second back to position number 4. Brandon Buckberger in the Dean's Farms Driven to Save Lives number 4 machine will start in the 5th position. To his outside, the Team Watson Racing Setups National Racing Network Martin Sports number 39 of James Watson. That car will carry the number 5 on your timing and scoring screens. Row number 4 will have the TNT Racing number 13 of Todd Taylor. Great run for that driver, lining up inside of Brett Edwards there on the 4th row. Manuel Paredes and Steve Costley will occupy row number 5 here tonight. Lane Doyle and Vic Aldrich. The Dizzy V Designs Team Watson Racing Setups number 98. That car will be the 11 on your timing and scoring screens. Stephen Protzman inside of row number 7. To his outside, the Napa Auto Parts, Rockwell, North Carolina, number 94, Jeffrey Stanton. That car will be the 6 on your timing tower. Thomas McElpeen out of New Jersey alongside of Nelson Yelinsky in the number 16, the Pure Michigan number 16 on row number 8. Row 9, Logan Ravals out of Canada, and Go and Win out of the United States. The Apple computer machine on the outside of row number 9. All alone on row number 10, the Team Watson Racing Setups number 12 of Nieje Camargo. That car also has the National Racing Network on the side of the car. Field is making their way through turns 3 and 4. You'll see the pace car make that hard left-hand turn down onto pit lane. Green flag goes in the air. It is a great start for Thomas Lewandowski. Larry Pace, Josh Batista, not going to be much of a fight there to turn 1. Pace going to claim third. Oh, baby, Watson, a little bit of a slide up to the high side. He's going to tuck back in line behind Brandon Buckberger. Most of the field single file off of 2. Lap number 1 goes in the books in a hurry, and it will belong to Thomas Lewandowski. Lap number 2 of 80 up on the scoreboard right now. Brandon Buckberger around Josh Batista. A little bit deeper in the pack, Vic Aldrich, Jeffrey Stanton battling side by side. Oh, and Stanton already has huge damage on the right front corner of that machine. Take a look at it there. That is a huge hit with the outside wall as Derek Love goes fastest lap. Stanton running down to the inside of Yelinsky. He'll be able to get that pass completed, but man, Jeffrey Stanton is going to be in a world of hurt here this evening. Take a look back towards the front of the field as D-Love. A little bit of a kiss to the safer barrier at the entry to turn number 1. Larry Pace down. He clears inside. Brandon Buckberger going to try to follow it through, make it a blue light special and go 2 for 1. And I'll tell you what, at the rate that they're going here, it may be a 3 for 1. Josh Batista has to tuck back in line. Not able to go anywhere just yet with these guys. Man, there is some action all over the place here. Manuel Paredes moving inside of Brett Edwards into turn number 3 that time. Gets the blast completed. That fight happening inside the top 10. Buckberger starting to catch up to Larry Pace here, and Pace not really letting Lewandowski check out at all, as it's going to be a third of a second gap is all they're going to have there as they come off of turn 4. They'll put lap number 7 up on the scoreboard right in that 21.3 second range. Drivers about 3/10 off of what we saw for qualification laps. But here, a place like Rockingham, that's not all that surprising. And quite frankly, they could, at least early on in the run, start to tick down towards that kind of 21.2 number. In fact, Brandon Buckberger's last lap at 21.214. Top 3 starting to check out. From 4th place, Derek Love, and 5th place, Josh Batista. You gotta wonder if Pace and Buckberger are doing a little bit of just sitting in line, behaving, not wanting to really do anything crazy just yet. Guy who's open, here we go, Pace down to the inside of Lewandowski. He wants a sniff of the race lead into 1. Side-on checking in, Silver Crown Night in America. Yes, it is. Another blue light special here for Pace and Buckberger. They're both going to go 2 for 1 on Lewandowski. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, though. Lewandowski really fights back well on the outside of turns 1 and 2 that time. Car a little bit twitchy on the exit. May give Buckberger enough space to clear at the entry to 3, and he does. Lewandowski back down towards the bottom of the racetrack. Guy who's really looking to have a good run tonight is Josh Batista. You look at the point standings and you say he's 4th in points. He's not having that bad of a year. But in 10 starts, 1 win and 4 top 5 finishes. His caution is out for the first time here this evening, and it may be Thomas McElpeen towards the back of the pack. We'll take a look here on the NRN replay and see what happened to McElpeen. A little twitch. Oh, baby. Upside down. Does cross the start-finish line to get credit for the lap completed, and he sticks the landing. Russian judge scores that one an 8. Gets it into the infield, but unfortunately for McElpeen, that may be the end of the show, as he has taken the tow onto pit lane. Talking about the season for Josh Batista, 10 starts, 1 win, only 4 top 5 finishes. His average finish is 7th after an average start of 3rd. Could be having quite frankly, a battle with Lewandowski and Watson for the championship here. But it's a similar story for James Watson as well. We'll pick up the driver running in the 6th position. In 13 starts over the 8 weeks that we've counted, 2 wins, 10 top 5 finishes. Average start is 4th. His average finish is 4th. He's having a good year. It's just that Thomas Lewandowski has been an absolute stud this season. 16 starts, a 50% win percentage, claiming 8 checkered flags, 14 top 5 finishes. Average start of 2nd, average finish of 2nd, and only 4 incidents over the course of the season. How dominant has he been? He has led 687 of the 1,219 laps he's completed. It has just been a phenomenal season for Thomas Lewandowski. But I believe we have the lights out on the iRacing safety car, so we should be getting ready to go back racing this next time by. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Sign-On here. Now, he's a little bit biased in the comments, but the Red Ream rocket has been flying high, and it still feels like he hasn't gotten what he deserves. Yeah, it's just been kind of inconsistent for Batista. He's been on pace and up towards the front. And quite frankly, just a season like we saw out of Brandon Buchberger a couple of seasons ago, it was just not good, at least not by their standards anyway. Buchberger already picking up a win this season. He has definitely turned things back around, running 3rd in points. 2 non-broadcast wins to go with the 1 broadcast win earlier this season. 8 top 5s and 11 starts. It's been a good year for Buchberger as the green flag goes back in the air. Interesting. How good of a restart did Batista get? Well, not very. As James Watson able to get inside and clear that number 20 machine off towards turn number 1. Oh, 1 car bouncing it off the outside wall. That may have been Jeffrey Stanton. And it was. I guess if you're going to use up the right front, man, you might as well use it up entirely. But now we'll pull up the focus camera on that car. Both sides of the nose of that machine. Pretty well used up on the Napa Auto Parts, number 94. Just back behind, Nelson Yelinsky and Vic Aldrich. Oh, Yelinsky, big slide through 4. Oh, my goodness. I love the Silver Crowns, man. If you like this, come back tomorrow night. You do not want to miss the sprint cars at Slinger Speedway. Potentially an all-time iRacing world record for fastest lap in an official series will occur tomorrow night. We've got the crack research team on it, but I think it's going to be close here. Paredes looking inside of Todd Taylor for the 8th position into turn number 3 that time. And Paredes able to make that one look, quite frankly, easy. Larry Pace holding a 0.6 of a second lead over Brandon Buchberger now. So Buchberger holding position number 2 over Thomas Lewandowski. These guys going to be nose to tail into turn number 3 this time. This race is going to tick by in a big-time hurry if they keep flipping laps off like this. Only 10 minutes in, and we're right about the 1/3 distance mark. We're pretty close anyway to the 1/3 distance mark. This season, Brandon Buckberger contributing to Driven to Save Lives, organization formed in honor of Justin Wilson and Brian Clausen to raise awareness and encourage knowledge about organ and tissue donation. $50 for every win, $10 I think it is for every second place finish, and $5 for every third place finish. Already $50+ I want to say $58 or something like that in the donation pool, and Buckberger trying to add to that tonight. Lewandowski able to clear off of turn number 4 last time by. These two battling is helping Larry Pace to absolutely check out here. The gap up to 1.1 seconds. You would think at some point Buckberger's probably going to say, hey, let's just stay in line and see if we can't catch up here. I mean, there's still 54 laps to go. A lot of time left here. Oh, man, but Lewandowski. Big twitch off of turn number 4. He slides all the way up to that concrete retaining wall along the outside of the front stretch. This battle is good. Let's slide back a little bit here because this is another good fight. Steve Costley, Todd Taylor. Oh, one car. That's the AJ Camargo. Bounces off the outside wall. Big damage on the front of the number 12 now. It's going to be 12, 13, 14, and 15. All battling within about a second and a half of each other. Taylor taking the low line off of 4 that time. And outside of this fight at the front, that's really kind of the only one we've got going on. Vic Aldrich catching up on Jeffrey Stanton ever so slightly, but really not much of a fight there with all the damage that Stanton has on his machine. And the lead now up to 1.3 seconds. Larry Pace was the dominant force, as we mentioned here, last time they raced at the Rockingham Speedway. That one happening in... Let me make sure I've got my information right here. 2023 Season 3, all the way back in July of last year. 21.297 was the fastest lap of the race, and that one went to Brandon Buckberger. 2 drivers under that mark here tonight, Buckberger and Larry Pace. Keeping an eye on those weather conditions. Track temperature up to 96 degrees, even as the ambient drops a little bit. These drivers are going to be hunting for grip. There you see the back end really coming out on Brandon Buckberger's machine off at turn number 4 that time. Also want to take a look at our hard chargers of the race. Jeffrey Stanton, that car is used up, and he's still your hard charger, up 5 after qualifying in the 14th position. Lane Doyle up 4, your race leader. Larry Pace up 3, along with Brandon Buckberger. Vic Aldrich also up a couple of positions. So we're starting to get down fairly close to the halfway point here. Derek Love battling with Josh Batista and James Watson. Lane Doyle hanging out there, about 10 car lengths back of Watson. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Sinon on this one here in the comments. I'm surprised that didn't take the 12 car out. That hit looked really hard. Yeah, it did. It was a big bounce into the wall for AJ Camargo, but he is still on the racetrack and on the lead lap for that matter. Batista electing to back out and not make the move yet on D-Love with 45 laps to go. This fight here towards the back is still a good one. It's going on about 15 seconds back of the race leader, so only about 6 or so seconds separating your race leaders from getting into this lap traffic battle. And they're fighting for position, so it will not be an easy get around for your race leader. The AJ Camargo will be the next car to go a lap down. Logan Ravals looks to be out of the race, as does Thomas McElheen. Both of those cars with extended visits on pit road, and both now being shown as out of the race. Oh, Camargo, big slide up the track, getting out of the way of the leader. Oh, my goodness. 2 seconds back, the fight between Buchberger and Lewandowski. It's going to come up on the number 12 machine, I would think, probably entering turn 1 next time, unless Camargo elects to really back out of it here. Buchberger will take that little bit of drafting help, though, and Camargo clears up out of the way into turn number 1. Gotta say a big thank you to everybody that's checked in here on YouTube. We appreciate you hanging out with us here. And if you like the show, make sure you hit the like, hit the share, do all that kind of stuff. It does help. And quite frankly, we need to trick the algorithm here so more people are going to see this stuff. If you are interested, channel memberships are available, as are the super chats and super thanks. These Silver Crown and the Sprint Car broadcasts, for that matter, are entirely community and viewer supported. No sponsorship paying for those. We don't even ask the drivers in the series for money to fund these. This is kind of out of the goodness of our hearts. So anything you would like to contribute there, we do truly appreciate. Oh, Camargo bounces off the wall again. My goodness. The AJ Camargo is having a night. Good run back here for Derek Love, James Watson, and Josh Batista. 4th, 5th, and 6th. These drivers running about, well, call it about 7 seconds back of the race leader. They will be the next cars to come up on the AJ Camargo. Oh, man, Camargo's doing his best to stay out of the way, but Lane Doyle having to take some evasive action off of turn number 2 that time. Buchberger up in 2nd position still. He's going to have Lewandowski right behind, and Larry Pace is just not having any difficulty getting through lap traffic right now. Gap sitting at almost 3 seconds between Pace and Buchberger. Just past the halfway point in this race. Lap number 46 is up on the scoreboard. It means there are 35 circuits to go here at the Rockingham Raceway. Coming up next week should be a pretty darn good short track show, with these guys heading off to Richmond Raceway for round number 10 of their championship season. We will round out the month of February with visits to Kentucky Speedway for round 11 and closing out the season right here in our hometown, well, neck of the woods anyway, up at the Pocono Raceway. 2.5 miles of crazy for these Silver Crown cars. Slide back here and pick up Watson, Love, and Batista. Watson, that car is starting to come alive here in the later part of this race. James Watson trying to get himself up into position number 4. Oh, man, Watson and Love both twitch. Where does Batista like to go? He's going to have to try to go to the high side, but tucks it right back in line. Watson overcooks the entry ever so slightly up to the middle part of the racetrack. Man, Derek Love now even doing some, we'll say some hunting through turn number 4 that time, trying to see if there was any grip. I don't know if he got loose or if he was hunting grip up on the high side of the racetrack. Now Thomas Lewandowski back around Brandon Buchberger in the fight for the 2nd position with 30 to go. Man, it looks like both of these guys just have an absolute handful right now. Unfortunately, no exorcist cam tonight for us, but go on board here with Brandon Buckberger. Zach Evans will get this comment up. Yeah, I would agree with this one. Right rears are probably starting to get a little annoyed. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. And I'll tell you what, it is not much but a breathe of the throttle. Oh, and the caution is out. Yellow flag is out for the second time here tonight. And it looks like it's trouble for Derek Love and Josh Batista. Oh, what happened here? Batista still backwards. Watson having to look inside. Lane Doyle also there. Oh, Love clips the wall. Huge hit for Batista. Into the inside safer barrier. Same for Derek Love. Both of those cars taking huge hits. And oh, buddy, is this going to change things here? Let's take a look and see. Check this one from Derek Love's perspective as well. He and James Watson really battling tight, and off of turn number 2, D-Love just runs out of room. Oh, and then a huge hit into that inside wall. Both cars tearing the front end off. Derek Love is going to be frustrated. Yeah, Zach, I can hear that in your voice. Sign on checking in. Neither of them had a chance there. Yeah, that was just nothing that either one of those guys could do. We'll take a look and see, maybe even go back a little bit further. This is kind of going like a lap before. Love way up on the outside of the speedway, clips the wall, exiting turn 4. That opens the door for Watson to have the look down to the inside. And from there, the car just staying tight, staying tight. Lane Doyle starting to get into the middle of that action as well. Yeah, that Street Side Classics machine for Derek Love, really, really twitchy there. You can see how much corner speed he carries in. Watson kind of does the little baby Pruitt fade on entry, and just nothing for Josh Batista to do on that one. And just absolute frustration by Derek Love. He is already out of the voice chat. We can't even pull him up into the booth for an interview. See if we can't sneak in a quick word here with Josh Batista.
You got an elephant. I got space. Send me smoke signals. You got weed.
I'll tell you what, buddy, you may need some of that after that one. Tough break there. Unfortunately, just nothing you could do, nowhere to go.
Yeah, exactly. That it looked like Derek got way too high on entry into 1 and 2 and got really tight off to hit the wall. Yeah, I slammed on the brakes, and as soon as I slammed on the brakes, it hooked straight to the inside wall. So those things happen here. Long run, right side tires are just destroyed for everybody. Except for Larry. He's an alien. He's unreal tonight. But.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing that here at the front. But, man, I'll tell you what, this has been a season of either feast or famine for you. A little bit of famine tonight, but hopefully we're talking to you on a little bit better terms here next week.
Yeah, well, I don't even know where we're at next week. Where are we at? I'm looking forward more to tomorrow night, but where are we at next week?
Richmond next week. But, yes, I'm looking forward to Slinger tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's big ticket this week for sure. Big ticket. Everybody's been testing, getting ready for it. So.
Do we see an all-time official world record set tomorrow night?
Ooh, we're going to get close. That's for dang sure. I know that.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, hopefully we're talking to you tomorrow night. Josh, thank you very much for checking in with us here in the booth. Man, yeah, you know what? He nailed it. I am jacked up to see this race tomorrow night. 9.5 second laps are a possibility here as they get off at turn number 4. Wow, not a great restart for Larry Pace, but it backed everybody up. Thomas Lewandowski, Brandon Buckberger, James Watson all have to get off the throttle into one. Lane Doyle may go on the attack here on Watson. Doyle has to back out of it as well. It's going to be 20 laps to go this time by. Almost looked like a little bit of a brake check off of turn number 4, if I had to guess. Usually you see these guys way up by the outside wall trying to cover off an outside passing attempt. That just didn't happen here. It seemed like everybody was a little bit discombobulated. And how about Jeffrey Stanton? That car is used up, man. It looks like it's been to Martinsville, not Rockingham. Keeping it inside the top 10, running in position number 7. Top 3 breaking away from 4th place, James Watson. On pace, I don't know that Watson is a 4th place car right now, but just nobody able to get around him here. Doyle takes a little bit of a wider arc into turns 1 and 2, but can't do anything with it. Makes no momentum off the corner. One car going around on the backstretch. I believe that's Go and Win in position number 12. And we will go under the caution for the 3rd time tonight. Take a look here at the NRN replay. See what happened to Go and Win. Kind of same deal as Derek Love, and the car just gets twitchy, snaps, and oh yeah, spins it around right in front of the field, locks the brakes down. Does a nice job there, but unfortunately it will put us under the caution here for the 3rd time tonight. Lane Doyle, one of your hard chargers of this race. Jeffrey Stanton is up 7 positions as we see James Watson all the way down to the apron, trying to cool those tires off ever so slightly. Lane Doyle's up 6, Nelson Yelinsky up 5, along with Go and Win and the AJ Camargo. Those guys benefiting from the incident that took out Derek Love and Josh Batista. So once again, huge shout out to everybody that's watching here. Pretty good numbers tonight on the Crowns from Rockingham. We appreciate y'all hanging out. The channel memberships are there. Give the video a like and a share. There's only 4 likes for 15 people watching this thing right now. I know some of you are driving, but get the likes in, get the shares and all that kind of stuff. We do really appreciate that. It helps us with gaming the YouTube algorithm ever so slightly. And if you want to support this on a little bit more, well, I'll use the Aiden Millward line, a little bit more personal level. The super chats and super thanks and stuff are there. PayPal, Venmo, at National Racing Network. We can do all that stuff too. Thank you very much for your support here at the iRacing Silver Crown Cup. 15 laps remaining here as the leaders come across the start-finish line, and it has been all Larry Pace here this evening. We haven't shown him hardly at all under green. We get you a look at that Thrustmaster number 1. He has led 55 laps here this evening after passing Thomas Lewandowski on lap number 11. Car has just been a rocket ship tonight. Running in the 2nd position, just back behind, is the T. Watson Racing Setups number 3. Oh, Zach Evans, God, I love you. Let's see. First, we got to get that one up. Zach's asking, where does the hate mail go again? As soon as the comment pops up, I'll be able to show you. You can send your hate mail to bizzle@nationalracingnetwork.com. Patrick will get them. There is a pretty significant chance he may be intoxicated and actually answer you. Let me know if he does, or at least if he says something completely patently offensive. If you do have an actual complaint, though, he does forward them to me. But if it's not an actual complaint, he may just give you a snarky reply of some sort. Back to our field rundown here. Thomas Lewandowski in the second position has led 10 laps tonight, but just, quite frankly, not on pace with Larry Pace up front as the lights are out on the iRacing safety car. We're going to get ready to go back to green. 15-lap average for Larry Pace at 21.877. For Thomas Lewandowski, a 21.979. It's a full tenth a lap quicker. And a lot of that is caution laps over these last 15. Brandon Buckberger in third, a 21.997. James Watson in fourth, up into the 22s. Let's take a look from the NRN drone and see when Larry Pace decides to go. Lewandowski grabs the loud pedal as well. He heads down to the inside. Man alive, it's almost like it's just a different gear in that car for Larry Pace. And quite frankly, that may be what it is. Oh, big twitch for Lewandowski off at 2. Buckberger almost ran him over. The Deans Farms number 4 up into position number 2. Oh, Manuel Paredes all over the back of James Watson down the front stretch that time. Really going ballistic, sending that car into the corner. Paredes, that 7 is coming alive late in the race. It's going to be 11 laps to go. Watson falling back into the clutches of Jeffrey Stanton for the 6th position. And it is already a 2.5 lead for Larry Pace. My goodness. I'll tell you what, these two are behaving right now as we're down to 10 to go. The question becomes, how much farther forward in this field can Manuel Paredes get? Watson starting to fight back ever so slightly as Lewandowski gets back around Brandon Buckberger. The fight for second is a good one, down to less than a car length. As we're down to now 7, call it 6.9 laps to go here at Rockingham. Josh Batista getting back out on the racetrack, and it actually does make a difference. He passes Derek Love for 15th. Oh, big slide for Lewandowski and Buckberger off of 4 that time. It's nearly 2 seconds at the front, and Buckberger is charging. Take a look out the back of Lewandowski's machine. Gives you a good look at the corn paint scheme on that Deans Farms number 4 of Buckberger. I'll tell you what, Buckberger, it's only $5 difference, but Buckberger wants to change up. How much may get donated to Driven to Save Lives here this evening, but both of these guys really fighting loose race cars at this point. Buckberger will be there with 3 to go. He'll make the dive off into turn number 1, almost puts it down on that yellow stripe, trying to get a little bit of grip down on corner exit. Lewandowski may have the muscle advantage, keeping that car wound up through 1 and 2, but it's not going to matter. Buckberger able to clear. Keeps it down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Oh, huge crossover for Lewandowski. He's to the apron. What a duel with 2 to go, and Larry Pace is gone. It's nearly a 3-second lead for Pace. Buckberger and Lewandowski stay side by side through 4. This time by Lewandowski, able to clear. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Buckberger looking inside. Pace entering turns 3 and 4. No doubt about this one. Checkered flag in the air. Larry Pace gets the win. Who's it going to be for second? Oh, they touch coming to the line. Checkered flag is out. Buckberger holds on for the position by 0.05 of a second. Oh my goodness, what a drive for Larry Pace. He put a whooping on these guys tonight. He's going to do the drive through the grass, and I believe the victory lane is here on the front straightaway. Yeah, there it is. Gets it parked up all nice and purdy-like for us. So while he's there, let's take a look at our race results. The gap, 3.2 seconds between Pace and Buckberger for the victory. Lewandowski, like we said, 48 thousandths of a second, separating second and third over the line. Lane Doyle comes home fourth. Manuel Paredes rounding out your top 5. 6 through 10, James Watson, Jeffrey Stanton. How did Jeffrey Stanton finish 7th? We may try to talk to him. Brett Edwards finishing 8th, Vic Aldrich 9th, and Steven Protzman rounding out the top 10. 11 through 19, the second page of the leaderboard. Nelson Yalinsky, the final car in the lead lap in the 11th position. Todd Taylor, Go and Win, finishing 1 lap down, 12th and 13th respectively, followed by Nietzsche Camargo, Josh Batista, Derek Love, Steve Costley, Logan Ravals, and Thomas McAlpine. Oh my goodness, what a show that we got out of the iRacing Silver Crown Cup here tonight. And well, Larry Pace stunk it up. He did his job up at the front of the field. Larry, congratulations on a dominant victory here this evening. During the race, Josh Batista called you an alien. Is that kind of what you were feeling like tonight out front?
Alien is really a derogatory term dating back to the beginnings of sim racing, so I don't like to be called it, but I get he probably meant it as a compliment, so I do appreciate it.
I don't know that as a derogatory term. I'm going to have to look into this now, but okay. Tell us a little bit, though, about the car out front, because it seemed like you were able to do things that everybody else wasn't, whether it was the speed off the restart, like you had another gear in the car, and the way you were able to hold the line through the corners. Everybody else was twitchy. Your car seemed like it was absolutely on rails.
I think it's a mixture there of, absolutely the setup was the best in the field. Thanks again to Thomas Lewandowski for throwing that to me. And I have a lot of races at Rockingham, and I pretty much, I don't like to brag, but I kind of know where every bump is in the corners here. So really knowing what pitch your car needs over certain bumps was a big part of it. So that's just really and all the grip is on the paint. So the closer you can get to the paint, the better it is.
Yeah, it seemed like that was kind of the strategy for you tonight, was get out front, check out, and now back-to-back races here, going back to 2023 Season 3. You led 69 laps in that one. You led 70 here tonight. What else? What do you do for the next trick, I guess? Do we see you at all the rest of the season, either at Richmond, Kentucky, or Pocono?
Is it Legacy, Kentucky?
I would think so. I don't know, though,
If it's
off the top
Legacy,
of my head.
Kentucky, I'll be there. If it's not, then maybe not. But yeah, this might be it for the season. And next time we come to Rockingham, hopefully sit on the pole and lead them all.
I was going to say, you'll be back here to smack everybody around again. Larry, congratulations. A hell of a drive for you here tonight. And before we let you go, do all the big sponsor plugs and shout-outs here.
Shout out to everybody at the drill aisle. I know Bob Bryant, John Prather were watching the stream tonight. Thomas Lewandowski once again for the rocket ship. And I mean rocket ship. It was so fun to drive. Like, I could have did another 100 laps easy. I didn't even break a sweat. It's so good. I can't understate how good he is at what he does. You'll have to ask him why he lost to me by 3 seconds at the same setup, though. And I have a YouTube channel with I just upload some races here and there. I'm just trying to get a couple subscribers. 00X Racing on YouTube, and that's about it.
All right, well, there you go, Larry. Thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here, and we're definitely going 00X on YouTube. So youtube.com/00X. Check that one out. Let's bring up our second place finisher here tonight, Mr. Brandon Buckberger. Put a little extra cash in the Driven to Save Lives till, but I tell you what, you probably got feeling like you got a bit of a workout here tonight, man.
Oh, yeah, it was fun running with Thomas there at the end. We didn't have anything for Larry. He was just rocket ship tonight.
Yeah, that was totally different class, I would say, is kind of the word for that one. But talk us through your night a little bit here, because it seemed like the car was really good, and then towards the end of the race, were you just absolutely junk for right side tires? Because it seemed like you guys really had a handful late.
I think just Thomas and I were just battling hard, and we were just, using up all the tire that was left. But I qualified fifth, not one of my better qualifying efforts, but I'm usually not that great at it. And kind of got up to second there real early, and, was keeping a little bit of pace with Larry, but he was about a half tenth to a tenth quicker. And then after that caution, he was about, those first couple cautions, he was about 2 tenths quicker than that. And it was kind of weird because, like, Tom and I would be going back and forth between second and third the whole race. When I was in front, I felt tight, and when I was behind him, I felt like my car was glued. And then, that last restart, I figured out a way to hold the bottom there, and I found some grip down by that yellow line, and it seemed to work. And Tom and I had a really good battle there. It was real fun at the end there. So good finish, yeah. Can't complain about that. And, we're dropping another $10 to Driven Save Lives here, so that's fun.
Yeah, I'd say throw a little bit more cash at these guys. We're looking forward to that. And, man, congratulations. A great finish here tonight. Doing what you need to do in terms of the point standings here, too, to pick up some ground on Watson for second. Congratulations on it. And before we let you go here, do all those sponsor plugs and shout-outs you want to get in.
What are points, Chris? I don't look at that. You know that.
I know that. But that's why I say it. I rally up a little bit.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I don't even look at points. I don't even know where I'm at right now. But yeah, thanks to Dean's Farms car. Scotty's watching, Bob's watching, Madison, Nate. I think Swayze and Kendall are all watching too, and it's a good run for them. And shout out to HD Rockers and JT and all them out there. So it was a good run tonight, and our pot's at $75 now, so we're getting close to that 100 I want to hit.
Yes, we are getting very close to it with 3 races to go. And by the way, just to rally up a little bit further, you passed James Watson for second in points tonight, only 185 back of Lewandowski for the championship with 3 to go. Brandon, congratulations on the podium once again. Thank you much for checking in with us here. And now it is time for us to talk to our third place finisher tonight, Mr. Thomas Lewandowski. And Thomas, I am going to ask you a question directly from race winner Larry Pace. How did you finish 3 seconds back of the race winner in the setup that you guys running the same setup you built?
Question is, I didn't.
Oh.
Race results. I mean, I didn't finish 3 seconds back. What's he smoking?
Oh, well, okay.
It sounds like Larry don't want no setups no more is what it sounds like.
That may be what it sounds like. But I'll tell you what, he did say you are phenomenally good at what you do, and it was obvious tonight. 2 of the 3 cars inside on the podium. The car looked good, but man, how was that battle late with Brandon, because it seemed like you guys were using up every tiny little bit of cord you had left on those Hoosier tires.
Oh yeah, I was like the last restart, I got super loose the whole first lap basically, and I knew any shot I had at Larry was gone, so I just raced it out with Brandon and gave her all she had.
Yeah, that was definitely a case of give it all you have. How did you guys not wad them up off of turn 4 on the last lap? Because both of you guys looked like you were sideways.
It's just experience, just luck, and I don't know. It just you trust each other, and I mean we both know how much room you got to give and stuff, and it's works out good that way. And you get guys that will give you. I mean, if you need 3 feet, and he gives you exactly 3 feet, it's fine.
That's exactly it. You give, I guess you have to give a little bit more in these cars than you do in some of the others. But now we're kind of looking ahead to the final 3 rounds of the season. We head to Richmond next week, Kentucky the following week. I'm not sure. I think it's the Legacy, but maybe the new one. And then Pocono. How confident are you feeling in a championship? It's only 185 points separating you and Brandon right now, but the drop weeks are coming into play.
Yeah, there's drop weeks, so it's always hard to calculate exactly how the points are kind of shaking out because I'm sure I had a pretty consistent season, so my drops are probably good. Compared to his, he probably has some really low points weeks to drop. I mean, I just race each week to try to win, and I let the points shake out where they do. But Richmond is a so-so for me. Last time we were at Legacy, Kentucky, me and Bob absolutely decimated the field. So I'm feeling really good about that race. And I forgot what you said the last track was, but I'm sure I'll be pretty good there too. So we'll see.
Pocono is one that I would imagine you're probably feeling pretty good about too.
Yeah, I've run really well at Pocono. It's one of my better tracks. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out because I mean, all it takes is 3 wrecks that could not even be your own fault. So we'll just take it week by week here.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again on the podium here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and shout outs in for us here.
Shout out to you guys, Larry, even though he's ungrateful apparently, and everyone knows the drill. Al, John, Bob, Marcus, and thanks again to you guys. You do such a good job.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. I appreciate the kind words. And first time I've heard a third place guy call a race winner ungrateful. That's fantastic. Thomas, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us up here in the booth. And we'll give you one more live look at the scenic views of Rockingham Speedway. Oh, my goodness. What a show here tonight. Yes, Larry Pace stunk it up, but he was crazy, crazy fast. You can't take that away from somebody who's that quick. And then, man, you follow it up with just an incredible battle for second. A lot of good runs throughout the field. This one was a ton of fun. And now we're going to get ready to head off to a race I have been looking forward to for the last 10 weeks since these schedules were announced. The sprint cars at Slinger Speedway. We will have the iRacing all-time fastest lap ever turned in an official series on hand for tomorrow night. We will be doing some checking on that. But I think it's a record that could fall. We're talking 9.5, 9.7 second laps around Slinger Speedway in a sprint car. It is going to be really, really intense. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And the pits are on the outside of the racetrack. If you wad your stuff up, you absolutely must clear off the racetrack and take the tow. There is no try to drive it back to pit road. You're going to cause a huge wreck. It is going to be wild. You do not want to miss it. Coming up tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the National Racing Network. Wednesday night, it is a double header of Daredevil Racing. I will be driving the Lotus 79, the New Hampshire South Roval, along with the New Hampshire Motor Speedway Oval in a doubleheader for the Daredevil Series coming up on Wednesday night. Thursday night, the Indy Pro 2000 Championship is going to head off to the world's greatest race course. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course will play host to the USF Pro Championship in the PM18s. That show is going to be wild too. Very, very draft-heavy racetrack for those cars and not a lot of room to get away. It's going to be a blast. You don't want to miss any of the stuff coming up this week right here on NRN. But with that, it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. For Bizzle, James Watson, everybody else that makes these shows possible, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us, and we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night, everybody.